So this is Pesach. The early years. I don't know exactly the year, but the early years. So the Rebbe used to conduct the Seder until 1970. The Rebbe used to conduct the Seder on all Yom Tov meals in the apartment of the Frierdiker Rebbe, upstairs in 770. For those that were there, it was quite an awesome thing. The previous Rebbe's chair remained empty, the head of the table. The Rebbe at his left, and the older brother-in-law, the Rashak, at the right. And the Rebbe used to sit at the table like the Frierdiker Rebbe was there. He didn't speak unless he was spoken to, with absolute awe. And they did speak to the Rebbe. They did ask him questions. The Bochum used to set up the guests that would come to ask questions. And there's two beautiful volumes called The King at the Table of the dialogue of the questions that people asked over the years from 1950 to 1970, 51 to 1970, at the various Yom Tov meals, some extraordinary things. But here's a story. Now, all the Yom Tov meals that he would eat upstairs, again, it was every Yom Tov, not Shabbos, but every Yom Tov, and there were guests. Elder Chassidim, and they came from overseas. So when they would drink some wine during the meal, he would say, L'chaim. And invariably, he would drink wine as we do after the fish. He's supposed to rinse the mouth after the fish before we eat chicken, whatever, or the chicken soup. So once by the Seder night, by Shulchan Aruch, by the part of the meal, so the Rebbe drank a bit of wine after the fish, but didn't say L'chaim. Now the celebrated and revered and beloved Mashpia of Shmuel Levitin, who, by the way, is the great-grandfather of Levi Levitin, of my son-in-law, of my youngest daughter. And he says here from the great Chassidim and Mashpia in 770. So he was there also at the Seder, on all these meals. And he noticed that the Rebbe he's drinking wine, doesn't say L'chaim. Interesting. The next day, at the Pesach meal, again after the fish, the Rebbe drinks a little bit of wine, and he says L'chaim. The next night, the second Seder, again after the fish, a bit of wine, and he doesn't say L'chaim. Now he's certain that there's something here. He didn't say by the Seder L'chaim, but he says it during the day. Now, because he's from the elder Chassidim, he's actually older than the Rebbe, he allowed himself to ask the Rebbe, and the Rebbe said to him, when you say L'chaim, you're giving chshivas, you're giving importance, and more than chshivas means more than importance, you're giving stature, prestige to the drinking of wine. And therefore, Seder night, we only have 4 cups, arba kaises. So you could drink, but you don't want to drink in such a way that you're making this like another cup. So Rabbi Yoel told over the story, you heard it from Shmuel Levitin, said, of course, halachically, there's no problem. You can say L'chaim. And nonetheless, we see how the Rebbe is so careful that doesn't want to give to any other drinking of wine any designation other than the 4 cups. In addition to that, we see that how a Jewish custom is so important in the Rebbe's eyes. When Yidden drink wine, they say L'chaim. It's not just drinking some wine. That is something really choshev. And so therefore, he's not going to say L'chaim because Yidden say L'chaim of a wine. That's going to add to the 4 cups. Therefore, he doesn't say L'chaim. So this brings out how important what Yidden do. It doesn't say anywhere that you're supposed to say L'chaim before you drink. It's just what Jews do. That makes it already something very special, and therefore we don't want to say that at the night, adding to the 4 cups. So friends, you can drink wine during the meal. We just learned something. We shouldn't, if you want, to say L'chaim, but rather just drink it by day, by all means.